and welcome back to the D&D workshop. Today is our first episode into our D&D story for the workshop. Now let me get this out of the way as best as possible. I'm using my computer right now with my headset. We are recording in Tabletop Simulator, so I won't really know about the audio levels until after everything. So I loaded a little bit. I would have had my production microphone, but of course that is not working at the moment, so we are going to use my microphone on my headset. Like I said before about this workshop, you don't have to follow my characters, however, sorry about that. However, this is just a writing exercise if you're interested on making like a fantasy story and you need help. And I'm going to show you how with just D&D you can create almost any story from it. And usually it's a lot better with players, but right now, just for the concept of story elements and such, we're going to use what I have here. And now this story is based off of a made-up D&D campaign I have made with my friends, who sadly could not play it with me, so it's just kind of sitting there in limbo. The intro to this is completely done. However, if I get enough positive traction from this that you guys want to hear more about these characters I've made up in this scenario, please tell me in the comments below. Hit that like button, because that like button will tell me you guys liked the concept or the idea of this, and we will get going. So, welcome to Ravenhelm, a dark, insidious underbelly. Yet, that's not where our story begins. The Iron Maiden, off the coast of Ravenhelm. A high-maxed prison where the worst of the worst go in order to keep Ravenhelm safe. A prison ship sails into the bay. 4 prisoners are being transported. 4 being marched towards the marshal's office. Oh no, the computer! There we go. I couldn't even name these guys, so sorry. You're just gonna have to roll with what the pieces are. Okay, Marshal Grissom, old one-eyed dwarf whom sat in a dim-lit desk. I'll be calling you an order. Stand in front of the desk and I'll address you. So, first person we got up is Brandon Cross. Brandon Cross has been admitted for thievery. His backstory should be something along the lines of, you know, since he's an outlander, we should probably have him put into a situation where he was found at the wrong spot at the wrong time. So that's what got him to be arrested. So in this first activity, I want you guys to come up with Brandon Cross's backstory to why he got to where he is now in the Iron Maiden. Sorry, Iron Mermaid. That's the joke about it. So, if you don't want to use Brandon, for example, the only archetype is you just use the Ranger. How is the Ranger here? Next one up to bat is going to be our half-orc Barbarian, Turk. Now, Turk, of course, let me see what I had for my friend's bio. Again, of course, he got into a horrible situation where he's in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Except for the fact that he's a half-orc, so they assume that he's an orc, being, of course, evil. They have arrested him. So again, another activity you guys have is going to be taking the half-orc's backstory and adding, like, fleshing it out, basically. That's what you're going to be doing for this video, is to flesh out these characters. So we have the half-orc Barbarian named Turk, or you can just use half-orc Barbarian, just so you know. Wow, I'm losing it today. The next one on the list is, of course, the Tiefling. I don't know why I have a Tiefling rogue. It's a wizard, but I guess because she's a criminal, we have it set up that way. So Ellen Jester, or EJ, is a wild magic user who's a sorcerer, who is also a criminal. she has been arrested for pickpocketing and thievery. So, the thing with her, though, is she is a wild magic user, which a wild magic user is, and I'll put the table on screen, is at random, if she casts a spell, something bad will happen or something good will happen, depending on 1 to 100. So, I forget her name, it's something Doodle. She has a monkey that has a cursed arm that always has this problem, and horrible, horrible things happen. I'll probably figure it out by the next episode. I'll just click and get the name real quick. But, again, wild magic is a good example of changing up the pace of the story, because say they're in a battle and she's going to use a spell, after that you'd have to roll for the wild magic effect. It can go horribly wrong no matter what, or you can get something really good out of it. It's just how wild magic is. So that's a good element in a story to have, because instead of having them completely demolish the enemy and get close to victory, it could all backfire, because of just how pacing is. So the next one and final one on the list is, of course, too zoomed in for that one, is Greg Bastion, the Tinkering Wizard Gnome. He is, of course, in here because one of his dubious inventions blew up and caused him to be incarcerated. Now, the one thing about them coming to the Iron Mermaid is they did this all from their lands, which we'll tie into later in our workshop. Each one of these do not come from Ravenhelm. They have been sailed in and locked up here for good keeping. So they must have done something really, really bad, or in the case of the ranger and the orc, stumbled upon something they shouldn't have. There you go. There is your party that you get to work with. Let's dive into the next part. Let me see to make sure. All right. I see the next script dialogue we have to use. Oop. Just need to rotate the camera. Zoom back in for you guys. I will make sure to do this better in editing. Wish I could turn off the hub. All of you will be sentenced in the next 48 hours. My advice is don't be foolish in my house. If we find out, you will be punished. Guards, get them bagged and tagged and out in the courtyard. We've established right now our antagonist of the prologue, which is going to be, of course, Marshal Griswold, who is the head of the prison. Of course, I have a couple guards over here as they've brought you in. So, right now, for your first activity of the workshop, it is, god damn, I hate working with these cameras, is you will be establishing the background to the 4 characters. Now, if you are going to make up your own characters, please tell me in the comments below what characters you picked. I don't even care if it's 4 barbarians. However, as I said, if you're not here to actually have a problem, let's just say you actually want to take this seriously and you want to try to write something. Not saying that the 4 barbarian idea is bad, but I could see it going completely different or off the rails. You can still take my characters and build a backstory off of them. I hope I've given you at least enough detail. If not, please ask me in the comments below. I will provide you with any more detail for the story writing elements. Right now, just create the backstories, create the reason why they're here, better than the reasons that I have, besides, he's in the wrong place, he's in the wrong place, she's basically a pickpocketer, thief, and then one of his experiments ruined everything. So, thank you guys for tuning in for this workshop episode, and I am excited to see the responses in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.